I'm also trying to go live on YouTube, which is not working right now. Okay, whatever. I don't mean YouTube. I mean Instagram. Whew, technology is always fun, right?
Yes, and I'm figuring out how to stream this to my audience as well. So, hey, good
Good.
times.
And you should have something in the top corner that says go live.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, fabulous. Well, perfect. So we are here to talk about teaming, the good, the bad, the ugly. I've had a team 12 years. Melissa's had a team 3 months. And Amanda, how long have you had a team?
I've had a team for 23 years.
Wow, you beat
Wow.
everybody. It's amazing.
I know the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yes, and I think we're still figuring it out even after years, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so fabulous. So everybody's always interested in learning more about teams and why do you team and how do you team and all the different questions. So for anybody out there, if you have questions on teams or want to chime in, please do so, comment, and I'll put it up there for us all to see. And until then, who wants to start?
Well, I'm happy to. My name is Amanda DiVito Parle, and I am a longtime RE/MAX Alliance broker in the Denver metro area in Colorado. So I just want to start by thanking you, Jennifer, for inviting me onto your cool show.
I'm so glad you're here. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And Melissa, so great to meet you. And I'm looking forward to just chatting a little bit here and getting some people some insight. So for me, the team was a way to give myself some leverage because an individual agent is a jack of all trade, a master of none. And so the purpose of the team is to try and find some space for somebody else to help you do the things that you're now overwhelmed doing. I often tell brokers that if you're doing between 25 and 35 deals alone a year, you're probably getting close to the time in your career where you need a team.
That's right.
And so for me, I started by joining a team. I worked for my dad for 17 years. My dad and I formed a team the day I started in the business, and I subsequently took over his team.
Wow. Wow, that's awesome. And how many agents do you have, Amanda?
Well, I've done every version of every team you could ever think of.
Okay.
So I am down to what I call the queen bee now, which is that I work in sales. And I have a sales partner. Her name is Stacy Bouchard. And together, the two of us will do roughly 100 transaction sides.
Wow.
And we do that with 3 full-time staff and 2 part-time staff.
Okay, that's phenomenal. So then your sales partner, do you share everybody? Do you split? You do listings, she does buyers. How does that work out?
We both work our clients and we both work listings and buyers.
Oh, nice. So then, is she talking to you, Amanda?
I don't know. Lisa says, does
Winston count as a team member?
Is Winston?
Is Winston a pet?
Who's Winston? Is Winston your
Who's
dog?
Winston?
I was figuring she was talking to Amanda. Winston must be a dog. I
Winston.
bet so. I bet that's the dog in her picture. Yes. Yes. If that's yes, that would count. I count it.
That's funny. No, my team picture on my Facebook page does have a standard poodle in it, and her name is Kona, and does not count as a part of the team. She's not a very productive salesperson.
No, but she should get paid for marketing.
She probably brings the clients in.
Right? Melissa, and what made you want to start a team?
You know, it was really funny. So I only started in this business about 5 years ago. This is my 5th year. So I really hit the ground running out of the gate and was doing really well. And I thought, you know, there's got to be a way to kind of balance this a little better.
Yeah.
But I found that I was mentoring and training a lot of people. And it ended up that, you know, well, if everybody's calling and asking me for advice anyway, maybe I should start a team.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's kind of how I got started.
And so how many agents what's your team look like now?
So my team right now is I have 2 great ladies who joined my team. You know, my goal is to probably get it to 6, but I'm trying to just grow it organically. I'm hoping that there's some agents out there that see us having a really good time and having success that pick up the phone and say, hey, I'd really like to talk to you about joining your team is kind of my hope.
Yeah, what I would encourage you to do, and you don't have to listen to me, but everybody out there knows I have an opinion on everything. And it's not necessarily right, it's just my opinion. But it is a strong opinion, is that if you don't have admin, that should be your next. Like just like Amanda does 100 closings and she has like 25,000 admin. Admin is the foundation. It's like the footing of your house. And if you get a good solid admin, then you don't necessarily need a whole bunch of agents because the admin could do everything so that you guys could just be the face, like, nose to nose, toes to toes with clients.
And I've been
the problem with growing the team is that at some point the women who are working for you will want to know what you've done for them lately.
Right.
And so you're part of the team dynamic is always understanding
your
value you're bringing as a team lead to the team.
Yeah.
And so for some people it's leads, for some people it's deals. And I hope everybody listening knows the difference between a lead and a deal.
True.
Because a lead is garbage. A deal is gold. And as a team leader, you're often bringing deals, which is served up on a platter, ready to buy a house today.
That's right.
And so one place where you can distinguish the difference in your business is, are you providing lead generation where they have to incubate those leads for 18 or 24 months? Mm-hmm. Or are you providing a deal where they're going to have a closing in 60 days?
Yeah. And I think, so I do both, right? So I do have a lot of leads and a lot of lead systems, but I really hone in on high quality leads because, I mean, you could put an ad on Facebook and get 300 leads for $50 and they don't have the right phone number. They don't have the right email address. It's garbage. But if you spend a little bit more money and get high quality leads, everybody on my team within 90 days, the most they've ever sold within 90 days was 9. The least that was, I'm talking about 90 days, brand new agent starts with me. They get trained for the first 30 days. Now what, right? So we really hit them up for success. So within 90 days, the least person sold 3, the most person sold 9. So I think, but that is like what part of our value, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I think providing value in this business actually is a trap for most real estate agents. I think people want to join Melissa's team because they see her kicking ass, basically. And so they have this idea that they also can kick ass. The problem is Melissa works like a dog. Day and night.
100, yeah.
She is running herself into the ground. She decided she needed a team so she could stop running herself into the ground. And then people want to join her team because there's magic up there after all.
Yeah.
And what you come to realize is the magic actually is just hard work.
Yeah. No, I think that's 100% accurate. I think that a lot of people want to get into real estate for the wrong reasons, and they want to get into it because if I've heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times, is I don't want to get into real estate because I want a flexible schedule. I love people and I love seeing houses, and I'm going to make $200,000 doing all the things I love to do while going to the beach on the weekends. And it doesn't happen that way.
Just like in every job, just like in every business, there is joy. So if you're doing 80% of the things that you love, there's still 20% of things that need done that you don't love.
That's right.
That's true. And Jennifer, it's funny that you said that about the assistant because we've got a couple highly successful teams. The AJ Petrillo group, he's way up there every year on the scale of teams. And just when we were at R4, he said to me, "You didn't hire an assistant like I told you to, did you?" And I said, "No, not yet." So
I think people get scared about. Yeah, I think people get scared to spend the money, but it will give you and your team the opportunity to double your production. And what I usually tell people is that take a month, Michelle, and go through everything. Like I kept like a journal, like everything you do in a month, write down every single thing. And at the end of the day, the things that you truly hate doing, highlight. at the end of the month, look at everything you highlighted, and that's what you need. That's the person you need. You need to hire somebody to do those tasks, to make your flyers, to input your MLS listings, it's the busy work, the work that takes a good amount of our time that is not money making activities. That's what you need to hire somebody else to do.
Yeah.
Verl Workman says there are only 4 money-making activities in real estate. That is showing properties, writing contract, negotiating deals, and attending closings. And if you're doing anything else, you're not actually making money now.
Yeah, well, prospecting.
All do a lot of that stuff. That's right, making calls, right? But actually, when you do the exercise that Jennifer's talking about, the exercise of actually lining out the things that you're doing in your business with the things that need done, you realize there's a lot of shit in your business you shouldn't be doing. You realize there's a lot of stuff that somebody else can do for you. And then there will be things in there that you enjoy doing. And for now, you'll keep those. What I learned, though, is that I was holding on to things that felt important to me that I hated doing, like my books, for example. So I was worried about the financial protection in my business. I didn't want to have somebody paying my bills or seeing my commission checks or overseeing some of that. So I kept it for myself, except I absolutely hate doing QuickBooks and my books. It took me a really long time in my business to come to a place of delegation and high trust to move that off my plate.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then I broke.
I think that that's common with real estate agents, because I feel like most high producing real estate agents are control freaks.
Sure.
And then you're saying release, like even having a closing coordinator, it took me years to really trust the process. Now my daughter doesn't. She's been with me 10 years. And I would tell you the downfall of having somebody that is so good that takes you from contract to closing is now I have to tell my clients, like, hey, once we go under contract, she takes over. Because sometimes I forget to call them because she is like so on top of it. But since I was able to release that control, my production tripled.
So Jennifer, I actually did the same thing with the front end that I did with the back end. So once I figured out that a transaction coordinator to take contract to close was such a great part of the business, I actually implemented a front end coordinator as well.
So explain that. What does that mean?
So I have a gal that works from the time the lead comes in to the time the deal goes under contract.
So cultivating it?
All of it. So she helps me with all my lead generation. She sets me up on my day to do all my prospecting. She's pulling all the public records reports, and then she's managing all of the buyer portals, all of the showings, all of the listing inputs, all of the photos, all the booties at the front door. So she's doing everything that happens in the front part of the transaction.
Oh, nice.
And then I have somebody that takes over the back part of the transaction. So where you got comfortable with a closing coordinator, you now can get comfortable with a listing and buyer agency coordinator.
Yes. And I do.
You're going to send us that job description, right?
I have job descriptions for everything. I'm an open book. I'm very happy to share. I find I tell people what to do and 90% of people don't do it anyway. So
I am with you, Amanda. I have so many people that are asking me to coach. I actually just got back from a college reunion of which 2 of my friends from my past are now real estate agents. And both of them had called me and texted me today saying, will you coach us? Will you do this? And I'm like, yeah, but after 60 days, if you're not doing what I tell you to do, I'm not wasting my time anymore, because you're right. A lot of people don't do it.
I do think that there's a difference between a real estate consultant and a real estate salesperson. And what I see in you is that you are showing up in a very consultative capacity with the ability to train and teach and mentor. And Melissa, you're seeing the signs of that. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's a difference between being a good real estate salesperson and being a good real estate coach.
I agree with you. So you, so I did Workman for several years, 2 years. Are you a Workman coach?
I was coached by Workman for a time. I was coached by Buffini for a time. I was coached by
me too. Mike Ferry. I did Mike Ferry and Buffini, and
I've been coached. I've had a corporate coaching, like executive coaching outside of the real estate space. Everybody needs a coach.
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I 100% agree. Yeah. And I'm just putting up people that said, hey, everybody. I did. Yeah. I agree with you. There's like 15 different ones that I've done throughout the past 18 years, and I love them all.
Yeah. I think you need coaching at the right time in your career. So like right now, Melissa, you're growing a team. So it would be a great time for you to sign up with somebody like Burl Workman's organization. He is a teams coach. And so if you can hop in on some of his systems early, it will save you a lot of heartache in growing the wrong team, growing the wrong way, setting up the wrong agreements with the team members that join your team, helping your coaching, things like this. So now,
yeah, I agree with you. I felt so for me personally, he was my least favorite coach because I'm pinnacle/diamond for the past 6 years. And there was nothing that could elevate me higher.
I just think it's only at the top.
Yeah. Well, it is lonely at the top. I would agree with you. But I had other friends like Melissa that were starting a team and they got in and it was like, I want coaching like that. Like it was amazing everything that they had to offer.
Yeah. I've been pretty lucky in the fact that my broker hired to our group a lady named Dondi Hopkins, who had a really high successful real estate career, her and her mom in Florida. And so she is on as a coach, basically free coaching for our agents that are with Remax Town and Country. And she has really been coaching a lot of us to start a team or help with the team aspect. And it's really funny because I was really on the fence, and I actually went to the Jared James Advance in the fall, and I attended some of their teams. And one of the coaches looked at me and he says, "You know what your problem is?" I said, "What?" He goes, "You need to get rid of your ego." He goes, "If you're going to start a team, then you put the ego on the other shoulder so you can be the best team that you can be and not worry so much about Melissa Bailey anymore." And so I was like, you know what? That's pretty good advice. And so I came home.
That's a hard thing to do for somebody who's been told to go get an ego to turn out to be a good salesperson.
Yeah.
That is right.
No, he was telling me to get rid of my ego, not to get one.
Oh, I know. Except you just got into real estate 5 years ago and somebody said, now buck up and get out there and go pat yourself on the back and tell them why you're the best agent.
That's right.
Now stop doing that so you can grow a team.
Well, we'll blend it, right? We'll blend it because I told my team up front I'm pretty competitive, and I like seeing us growing on the charts already in the state. So it's exciting. It's exciting.
Melissa, I'm curious, what did you do before real estate sales?
So I actually worked for Cisco Food Services and was with them for 23 years in sales and management. I was a corporate trainer. I have a train the trainer background. At one point in time, I supervised 60 salespeople, and then COVID hit, right? And because I had been there so long, they said, "You get to retire." And I said, "Guess what? I'm not ready to retire."
And that was probably the best gift that was ever given to you. There's a book called Strength to Strength by Arthur C. Brooks.
I've never heard of it. Tell us about it.
About how when you're on the downhill side of one career, that there is a time to jump to your next strength, and it's before you circle the toilet, basically. And so he basically said career curves kind of go like this, and that you have to jump off this curve from your prior sales with Cisco and jump over here to real estate to go do your next ride, your next wave. And so he talks about quarters of life and middle age and things like this.
It's scary. It's scary to do that. I hired an agent that had a different job, different profession. She had been an agent for a year and a half on a different team, had sold 3 houses in a year and a half, got a full-time job and wanted to leave it to go into real estate. And it's scary. She's a single mom. She had only sold 3 homes in a year and a half. She did the jump, Amanda, that you're talking about in June. From June to today, she's closed 12 and has 5 under contract.
Yeah, and some of that.
She said she made more money in 6 months than she did the previous year at the other job. So it's scary to do. It's scary to be 100% commission, but I would agree. You just got to do it.
It was
Melissa,
scary.
you did it.
Yeah, it was scary, but at the same time, it was one of those things that I had to step out of my comfort zone in a way, just from the standpoint that I don't know that I ever would have left if I would have been pushed out. And then once you got pushed out, you know, you say to yourself, like, why in the hell did I not do this
Sooner.
years ago,
Yes,
right?
right.
Yeah. So it was great, but I think a lot of those skills and things that I had learned during that time totally carried over.
Oh, most
for
definitely.
me.
People management, right? The managerial aspect of it.
Yeah.
I absolutely think you're right on that. I kind of think everything that you do in the past makes you to be a better agent, right? We kind
Yeah.
of have to like incorporate a lot of skills.
Yeah. I think just dealing with people,
Yeah.
on a regular basis, because everybody's different. And
So,
it does
Amanda,
help.
what was the one hard lesson?
Well, you mean the hard lesson,
Yeah,
like
and of the 23 years that
you
you've
mean
had it.
from like the time when the employees were stealing, or when the agents took your business with them, or the hard parts like when you
It's hurtful when you have agents that leave.
I don't know. I mean, I think
Yeah, it's hurtful.
the business can be cruel in some ways, and it can be the greatest reward ever. I mean, I look at real estate. I mean, where else can you make the kind of money that we can make in residential real estate without getting on an airplane 3 weeks a month to be away from your family? And
Yes.
so, one of the greatest gifts this business gave me was the opportunity to be home and raise my kids and be near and attend all the events. The thankless parts of the business is that it's a boundaryless business. You're expected to work day and night.
As long as you have a phone, you better be working, right? As
Yeah.
far as the public.
Yeah, for sure.
And in one of the sessions at R4, one of the team guys made the comment that, sure, you're afraid a team leader might leave. What if I coach them up and I train them and they leave? And he said, what if they stay? What if
Yeah.
you don't and they stay?
That's
Yeah.
right.
And that really hit me. I thought,
Because
Well,
that makes too much sense.
yeah, at the end of the day, I make sure if somebody leaves, and they do leave, and it does kind of hurt your feelings, really hurts my feelings when they leave. But at the end of the day, as long as we're on, like if I, mutual ground, so I love them, they love me, it's all good. They just have a different opportunity. I try to make sure that door is always open, because about 50% of my agents come back. And they come back after they try it on their own. Maybe they try to start a team on their own and then realize that it's expensive and it's hard.
it's a trap, actually. I actually think there isn't a perfect real estate team. You look at companies like Keller Williams, they tried to build sort of the team lead structure with buyer's agents underneath. I actually think that business is a tricky business, because nobody who gets good at real estate wants to stay your buyer's agent
That's
at 50%
right.
or less for the rest of their career. So the idea is to build partnerships in the business that have longevity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard too, because to build a partnership that has longevity means that really it's a business of shared services.
Mm-hmm.
And so so that's just a different model than running like the Keller Williams style team.
Yeah, that's right.
And
then how do you do it? And it's hard. I mean, let's say Nimesh is the bomb diggity with teaming, with everything. So you just keep doing you, and people will come and go, but you'll always stay satisfied that you did everything you could to make them better.
Well, that's right. I mean, I think that team members pour themselves into the team, and I think team leaders pour themselves into the team, and I think often admin pour themselves into the team until people either figure out that they're not being appreciated, or they're not being paid enough, or they're not being given enough freedom.
Yeah.
And, just like everything in life, things change.
Yep. Amen. I think that's very true. And they pretty much have freedom on my team, but the pay, and sometimes it's like, they want more money, but they don't realize, you're giving them leads, you're giving them admin, you're giving them printers, you're giving them every single supply that I'm truly paying $32,000 a month for a month. And that has to come from somewhere. I mean,
That's right.
Well, and actually, there's been some recent studies around this where we now know that team leaders who aren't in production actually have a hard time running profitable teams.
Yeah.
And that there is a breaking point where the team begins to start to make sense. And it's roughly 22 agents in sales.
Yeah.
And so those are small brokerages, if you ask me.
Yes, it is. I figured I had 16 agents 2 years ago. Now I have 8, but I figured 12 is actually profitable. 8 is sucking me dry. Like, this is not profitable at all. But if I could get up to 12, then it makes it worth it.
Cindy,
Otherwise, I'm
Cindy
working
Cody in Canada actually said that too. She said 12 agents and more. Now, there's a broker with Remax Gold in California, young petite gal, Kendra, maybe, I can't think of her name, Kendra. And I think she was running a team of 22, and she had found that her sweet spot was somewhere between 12 and 22 as well.
Yeah. I've never had as many as 22, but it just, the more you have, the more expenses you have. So
well, little problems, big people, big problems.
That, right? That's true.
I have 2 and you guys are saying 12. I'm freaking out over here.
Start with an admin. The other thing I would tell you, Melissa, don't grow too fast because it is hard to figure out teaming. I mean, if you heard Amanda and I, we still are trying new things, and I've done it 12 years. She's done it 23 years. There's start slow, because if you grow too fast, it can implode on you and you will have a terrible year and you'll be sad.
Well, actually, the trick is to build a repeat and referral based team.
There you go.
Build a team that relies completely on Zillow leads. Like, I have a friend here in my market, and I'm being told that she has to grow her team or she will not be a Zillow Flex agent anymore. And that is not a good feeling.
That's a horrible feeling.
If your back's against the wall because you're at the mercy of Zillow Flex, like, no thanks.
Yeah, agreed.
So you've got to build an organic team based on love and trust with people who know, love, and trust you. You do 2 team events a year. We do a party in the park in the summer. We do a Santa event at winter. We do 4 pop buys a year. My team, the members can take as many of those pop buys as they want. I don't care if they put pop buys on their clients' front porches. I mean, really, I don't.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, or some people, please do. I'll make 200 and like
network. Yeah.
If it's not your thing, fine.
Yeah. For me, it really is truly grassroots and networking. I've been doing, it's funny that you call it Party in the Park. I do something here in our neighborhood called Party in the Park as well. Mm-hmm. And, but it's for the whole neighborhood. Our neighborhood, 2,800 homes in my neighborhood. So it's been as many as 3,000 people. So it's an awesome event, but I do pay for a small amount of leads, but what we're running into is Realtor.com is actually forcing the teams to buy up markets. And there's a team that's non-Remax that has bought up a ton of the market on Realtor.com leads, which are
until Realtor.com turns the spigot off. And I've been at this long enough to know that different marketing companies and different vendors can turn the spigots on and off as they wish for you. And the best spigot you can turn on is a repeat and referral based business.
Yep. And that's how I think your Party in the Park and all that, we do 4 a year, but that's where you get your repeat business, right? Mm-hmm. That's what you're talking about. It's more like a Buffini.
We write 90 birthday cards a week. I have somebody who does 5 hours of birthday card writing for me a week. We make roughly 100 birthday phone calls a week.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we send handwritten home anniversary of purchase letters with a bottle of wine at the anniversary of every purchase. We have 35 years of letters. Wow. And so if somebody's been in their house for 32, 35 letters, guess what? They're still getting a 35-year letter from us.
Yeah, that's
they're
awesome.
Getting a 1-year letter and a 2-year letter, and they're getting a bottle of wine each year. These are the things that you can do that are inexpensive, that don't cost you money. You can hire a stay-at-home mom who wants to be home writing anniversary purchase cards and letters for you, or getting you dialed in to make birthday phone calls. And that is all free. And you don't have to pay Realtor.com shit.
Yep, that's right. And I will tell you with the handwriting, because my writing is sloppy, and I've got plenty of staff, but we just started doing a Cricut, and I put my handwriting in there and uploaded that as a font. And the Cricut, like we could write like 10 letters every 5 minutes.
Yeah, send out cards did that too, where they gave you could do your own handwriting and then they would put it in. But this is just somebody's handwriting. The clients don't know that it's not my handwriting.
Well, that's like right. And I we tried to do send out cards, but it was too generic. These we personalize all of them. It's just that the Cricut's doing 10 at a time. So
yeah, and they're real cute. We take a picture of the team, put it on the front here. I think I have one here.
Oh, cute.
And so we do real cute stuff where we just change it up every year.
Aww.
Oh yeah.
Put our little brand on the back.
Oh, very cute.
And we just hand wrap it inside.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
That's awesome. This shit is free. This costs me $1 or whatever. It costs me and print it and write it, and people get it and they love it. especially
awesome.
with their kids and dogs and whatever. It's great.
Hey, that's fun.
A lot cheaper than Zillow Flex.
Yes, indeed.
Zilly Felix, they have to pay, what is it now, 42% referral fee or something?
I think it's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. So then what is one piece of advice, Amanda? Start with an admin as mine to Melissa.
Oh, I guess the best piece of advice actually is buy real estate in the years that you're working in real estate. I do think that there's a place in time where you'll want to, perhaps want to spend your time differently. And if you don't have an investment portfolio, shame on you for having worked in this business all those years and never built a portfolio. Yeah. So my best piece of advice to everybody who works in real estate sales is to buy at least as many rental properties as they have kids and dogs.
I think that is very good. That's my goal this year.
That's
invest in other ways.
One of my goals this year too is to buy at least one for rental. Yeah.
One a year, you can retire rich in 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that would work for me.
Yes, right.
I don't know. It's so funny.
And then you've got that positive stream of income too.
Right.
Which is nice.
Yeah,
right.
Very much
so. It gives you options.
Yes, it gives you
options if you get forced out of the next 23-year bend in your career.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, let's hope not, right?
Well, the beauty of being self-employed, there is a thing that's happening in the universe right now, and that's that there's a lot of people facing potential job loss right now. And what many don't understand is that when you're an entrepreneur, when you are self-employed, I wake up every day unemployed.
That's right.
And I have to get up today and go hustle the next deal or do the next thing and create the next opportunity, and let that be a lesson that you can't take anything for granted.
Yeah, that's so true. And you've been in it long enough that you've seen it.
Well, the market changes. The market adapts. You have to be adaptable.
Yeah, that's
right.
Market
conditions change. You need to know market conditions. If you don't know how many houses are on the market in your area today, you had better find out like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Your average days on market, your average sales price. The best thing you can do is to be knowledgeable, because people are expecting you to know the market information.
100%.
I think even though there's been so much kind of turmoil in the industry the past couple of years, I mean, one of the best things I do think that's come out of it is we've opened up more about the fact that we wake up broke every day and we have to go out there and hustle and earn it and show that value, because it's you're going to start all over the next day. And I think finally, that message is getting out a little more, and hoping that clients out there appreciate it.
No, I agree. And I think it's made us all a little bit more professional, and having to have those conversations up front. Like, I don't work for free. This is what it is. Do you know anybody that works for free? And if you do, I'm sorry for them. I mean, that's sad.
Yeah.
But it is a hard industry. But I think it's kind of leveled everybody. And I like the fact that it made it a little bit more universal as far as buyer agency across the country. Because now when somebody calls me, if they're moving from Denver, Colorado, then they already know about buyer agency and that they're going to have to sign it. So it makes it a little bit easier when we're all kind of talking the same language from state to state.
Very true.
Yeah.
23 years I've been a buyer's agent.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm at 18, but not 23.
Well, but I mean, Denver's been operating with buyer agency since 1991.
Oh, yeah. So is North Carolina. North Carolina since 95. Yes.
Yeah, we had it as well. So it actually wasn't that big of a difference, except, of course, having to do it from
before
day one.
You ever meet them. That's a little bit harder.
Like, I haven't even kissed you yet, but please sign this.
That's right. And you just have to trust me. I usually, because we have a showing agent thing form that they can sign, and I'll do that. And I just tell them up front, like, here's a copy of the buyer agency, but after two showings, if you agree that you like me and I like you, let's marry it.
Yeah.
Let's sign the real buyer agency. But it gives people a little bit more comfort too, because I do think it'd be a little scary signing something we've never met somebody and you don't know if they're going to be good or not. But I figure after 2 homes, that I'm the best in the area. But I usually have buyers come on that 3rd home. They come with the paperwork and give it to me, like 100% of my buyers.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's kind of tough.
Lisa, 37 years
Oh my
Lord, I should have bought you a drink instead of you buying me a drink at R4. Holy cow, 37 years. That's a long
We'll
time.
get her next year.
Yes. I'm
We
sorry,
got you
Melissa.
next year, Lisa.
Yes. What did you say, Melissa? I interrupted you.
You asked what her best piece of advice was. I'm wondering, Melissa, what's your best piece of advice?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, to start a team. Talk to us.
What's my best piece of advice? I guess from a team aspect is you've got to know your why. And if you don't, as a team leader, if you don't know why, like if I don't get joy out of helping people grow and grow in this business, then you shouldn't be a team leader.
Yeah.
What is your why, Melissa?
I'm sorry?
What is your why?
My why is I love giving back to people, and the more I can grow as a real estate agent and grow my business is more I can do in my community. For example, and this is just one small little thing. So I started my first year, and I know everybody does pies for their clients, but I didn't do regular pie. I did a gourmet pie from Pie Bar, which is like a local place here that's over the top. And all my clients, they get to order that. But this year, because it's so many clients, I can't deliver them, right? Is that they can go online and pick what they want. But I gave them the option. You can do the pie, or that would be given to it's called Never Alone, which is a food bank. And so if you didn't want your pie, we made a huge donation to Never Alone. There's several organizations that I really just try to support. And I love that. And not to mention, I have a 25-year-old and a 23-year-old son. And they're at the stages where my son just got engaged. And so he's going to buy a house next year. And then my other son, we've been refurbishing a house for him. So they're my why. And one of these days, I'm going to go on really good vacations, like 3 or 4 times a year.
See, that's right.
And when you have a team, you can go on vacation.
Yeah. And I think that's interesting because you brought up a good point, Amanda and Melissa, about, what is your why? And everybody's why is different, right? So my last couple of years going to the elite retreat, and everybody is telling me, you're paying your agents too much. You're doing this, you're doing that. You're never going to get successful as a team leader if you give too much commission. And at the end of the day, it really bothered me in the beginning because I was like, oh crap, maybe they're right. But then I quickly realized that I didn't team to be rich. I mean, I didn't team to be poor either. Let me be clear. But I team because I enjoy collaboration. I enjoy working with others, and teaming and being a team leader, you can handpick the people that are around you, which I love. And then also the ability, I lean hard into the team, and any buyer that I have, I roll out. It does give me flexibility to take time off. I've got a granddaughter now that's 19 months. Gives me time to spend with her, gives me time to go on conferences and learn and grow, which I think is super important as a team leader, that you're always learning about what is out there. Not to chase shiny objects, but to know, like AI. Like my last 2 conferences, I spent a lot of time doing a deep dive on AI so I could bring it back to the team and teach them everything that I learned.
Yeah. So I think that's just come back with an idea. Like, I don't know that I came back to teach them anything, but I came back with an idea.
That's right.
That we could just and that's what the Remax convention does for me, is that they usually put the carrot that I needed to chase for the year just right out in front of me, and AI was the carrot of 25, right?
Yeah, it was. So when I left R4. Then last week, I just went to Celebration with RRC, which is the Residential Real Estate Council in Nashville. And that's all they talked about was AI. It's definitely, I think like last year, it was all about doing videos. This year, it's all about utilizing AI. So,
yeah.
R4 was amazing this year for me because I really did grow my network a lot. And I've literally have gotten 4 listing referrals from R4.
That's great.
And I know. Isn't that awesome?
Keep going. Yes, because you were there with enthusiasm, shaking hands, kissing babies, and you came back motivated. You probably followed up with all those people. They know what market you serve, and this is just how the world goes around for us.
Yeah,
That's right.
it's exciting. Remax has just been tremendous. So.
Well, there's
I agree with
a
you.
lot of places that people can hang their shingle, and Remax is a great one.
Yeah.
Sure.
Have you always been with Remax, Amanda?
Yes, my dad started here in 1990.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And what about you, Melissa? Did you start at Remax?
I did.
Nice.
I did. And now one of my teammates came from Keller Williams. So we've been transitioning her to our Kool-Aid, and it's been great. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great brand. They're a steady brand. They're a very well-recognized brand. And, whatever you think about what's happening in the market right now, this too shall pass.
Amen. Amen. And I think people, going to these new brokerages better watch out, because the new brokerages with the new splits and it's not proven. And we saw what happened with Compass. I mean, everything went down when they were offering everything. Just have to be careful not to chase the shiny objects, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I agree.
Well, thank you, ladies, so much. I think this was fabulous.
It was fun.
Hey, you gave me all kinds of great advice. I guess I need to join some coaching here with you guys.
I think that's a nice idea. That's good. But we can all be coached a little bit. And I learned something from you too, which is to get back to basics and to dig deep and to keep going. And so there's always something to be learned no matter where you're at in your business.
I agree. And I will share with you my interview questions and for agents and clients, as well as my ad, but I would love yours too, Amanda.
Wow. Well, I'd be happy to send. You can find me at amandadevito.com or DeVito Dreammakers. And so if you want to look me up, you can find me there. I'm always available.
That's great.
Awesome. Well, I love
Thank
it.
you, ladies.
Yeah. Well, thank y'all. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Jennifer.
You're welcome. I will talk to y'all later.